Advanced ChatGPT Prompts. Over the next several videos, we will be diving deeper into the world of prompts and exploring some advanced techniques that will help ChatGPT generate more robust and relevant responses to user queries. In this course, we will describe advanced techniques for writing prompts for ChatGPT, evaluate the effectiveness of chain of thought prompting, outline the concept of zero-shot chain of thought, summarize the concept of self-consistency, describe the concept of applied programming, and discuss how ChatGPT can solve multiple-choice exam questions. Next, we'll outline the steps to build a chatbot connected to a knowledge base. Learn how to minimize common ChatGPT reliability issues such as hallucinations, flawed explanations, and biases. Identify potential biases in ChatGPT's responses, discuss prompt debiasing, and define the terms prompt hacking and jailbreaking in relation to ChatGPT. In this topic, we'll talk about the value of adding contextual information to your prompts. Contextual prompts include aspects like background information, historical context, or specific details to provide a more comprehensive setting. Adding context to a prompt can help direct the generated response toward a specific topic or angle. Let's look at some examples of what a contextual prompt may look like. Prompt example 1: The Roaring Twenties was a time of significant change in American culture. How did these changes affect the role of women in society? Advanced prompts are a powerful tool for enhancing user experiences in various fields and applications. In this video, we will explore examples of advanced prompts and learn how they are being used in different industries. Chatbots are becoming increasingly popular in various industries, and advanced prompts are an essential component of their success. For instance, personal finance chatbots that ask about spending habits, set financial goals, and provide advice and insights can use advanced prompts to provide more personalized financial advice based on users' spending habits. Health and wellness chatbots can use advanced prompts to provide personalized health advice and track users' daily routines. Retail chatbots that ask about style preferences can recommend products and provide personalized fashion advice based on users' browsing and purchase history. Advanced ChatGPT prompts can be used in education to promote critical thinking and creativity among students. A science education platform can use contextual prompts to provide background information and encourage exploration and experimentation. A language learning platform can use open-ended prompts to encourage practice and creativity, such as writing or speaking prompts that allow for different responses. A history education platform can use multi-part prompts to encourage in-depth analysis and discussion of historical events. Marketing campaigns can benefit greatly from the use of advanced prompts, as they can provide personalized and engaging experiences for customers. By tailoring to each individual customer's preferences, marketers can create more meaningful connections with their target audience. One example of using advanced prompts in marketing is through interactive quizzes. These quizzes can use open-ended prompts to provide personalized recommendations for products or services based on the customer's responses. This not only personalizes the experience for the customer, but also helps marketers gather valuable insights into their target audience. Social media campaigns can also use them to encourage user-generated content and discussion. Multi-part prompts can be used to ask users to share their experiences or opinions on a particular topic, which can create a sense of community and engagement among followers. Another example in marketing is through email campaigns. By using contextual prompts, marketers can provide personalized recommendations or offers based on the customer's interests or behavior. This can lead to higher engagement rates and conversion rates for the campaign. Advanced prompts can increase the effectiveness of marketing campaigns by providing personalized and engaging experiences for customers. From interactive quizzes to email campaigns, there are many ways to incorporate advanced prompts into marketing strategies. Advanced prompts can also be a powerful tool for inspiring creativity and providing new ideas for creative writing projects. By providing a starting point or constraint for a story or poem, writers can push beyond their usual boundaries and explore new territory in their writing. One example in creative writing is through writing prompt generators. These generators use open-ended prompts to provide a starting point for a story or poem, which can help writers overcome writer's block and spark new ideas. By providing a range of different prompts, writers can explore different themes, styles, and genres to find inspiration for their projects. Another way to use advanced prompts in creative writing is through writing challenges. These challenges use contextual prompts to provide specific details or constraints that can inspire new ideas or approaches. For example, a writing challenge might provide a prompt that requires the writer to incorporate a specific object or setting into their story, which can help to push them outside of their comfort zone and explore new possibilities. Finally, writing exercises can also benefit from the use of advanced prompts. Multi-part prompts can be used to encourage exploration and experimentation with different genres or styles of writing. For example, a multi-part prompt might ask the writer to write a story in a particular genre, but with a specific twist or constraint. This can help to expand the writer's repertoire and explore new approaches to their craft. Another popular use for advanced prompts is in data science, where they can improve data quality, quantity, and diversity by generating synthetic data, creating diverse variations of existing data sets, and extracting features from raw data. This is proving useful in three main applications. First, in data generation for machine learning models. GPT-based language models can generate synthetic data that can help improve data quality, quantity, and diversity. This is particularly valuable when dealing with limited data availability or when working with sensitive data that cannot be shared. Next, for natural language processing tasks such as sentiment analysis, entity recognition, topic modeling, and more. This can help extract valuable insights from text data, which can be used for various applications such as customer feedback analysis and social media monitoring. Finally, there's predictive modeling, which is a key area in data science. GPT-based language models can be used to develop predictive models for classification, regression, and time series analysis. This can help organizations make accurate predictions and informed decision-making. Finally, advanced prompts can be used in programming to improve code quality and efficiency by generating high-quality code snippets and scripts, providing suggestions for debugging, generating documentation, automating testing, and optimizing code. They can also be useful for tasks such as code summarization, code similarity, and code completion, which can help improve the productivity and accuracy of programmers. Here is a high-level view of their use in programming. Code generation. GPT-based language models can generate code snippets and scripts for various programming languages. These models can produce high-quality code that is syntactically correct and follows best practices. Debugging. Advanced prompts can be used to debug code by providing suggestions for fixes or identifying potential errors. These prompts can save time and increase efficiency by helping programmers quickly identify and fix bugs. Automated testing. GPT-based language models can also be leveraged to generate test cases and test data for automated testing. This helps programmers identify potential bugs and ensure the quality of the code. Chain of thought prompting is a powerful tool for advanced prompt engineering in ChatGPT. It's a technique that involves generating a series of related prompts to help guide a conversation or brainstorming session, where prompts encourage the model to continue generating text in a specific direction, allowing for more coherent and contextually relevant responses. Let's look at 3 examples of chain of thought prompts. Word association prompts involve generating a list of words related to a central topic or theme, and then using those words as prompts for further exploration. For example, if the central topic is food, the list of related words might include cooking, eating, nutrition, or restaurants. Idea expansion prompts involve building on an initial idea by generating a series of related prompts. For example, if the initial idea is to create a new product, the related prompts might include what problem does it solve, who is the target market, and what are the key features, among others. And finally, scenario prompts involve creating a hypothetical scenario and then generating a series of related prompts to explore that scenario in more detail. For example, if the scenario is a world without electricity, the related prompts might include how do people communicate, how do they stay warm, how do they access information, and so on. Let's now explore how chain of thought prompting can be useful in different contexts. One application of chain of thought prompting is in brainstorming sessions to generate a wide range of ideas quickly. By using a series of related prompts, we can explore a topic from multiple angles and generate new ideas that we might not have thought of otherwise. It can also be useful in interviews to explore a candidate's thought process and problem-solving skills. By using scenario or idea expansion prompts, interviewers can gain insight into a candidate's ability to think creatively and logically. Finally, chain of thought prompting can be applied to problem-solving activities to help guide a team toward a solution. By breaking down a complex problem into smaller parts using idea expansion prompts, team members can work collaboratively towards a shared goal. Overall, chain of thought prompting is a versatile technique that can be applied in many different situations to generate ideas, explore complex topics, and guide conversations toward a specific goal. Hello, and welcome to this demonstration on creating a chain of thought prompt using ChatGPT. Chain of thought prompting is a technique that involves developing a series of connected questions or statements to guide the conversation with the AI, allowing for a more in-depth and focused discussion. In this demonstration, we will explore how to develop an effective chain of thought prompt and response, with a focus on Python programming. We assume you have some familiarity with Python and other similar scripting programming languages. To get started, open a web browser on your computer or mobile device and navigate to chat.openai.com. Once you're there, sign into your OpenAI account or create a new one if you don't have one. We already have an account and will be using the paid subscription service of ChatGPT. There is also a free service as well that has a few limitations. Notably, you may not be able to access ChatGPT during busy times. First, we need to establish a context for the conversation. To do this, we'll begin with a simple prompt that introduces the topic of Python programming. Type the following in the prompt text box at the bottom of the screen. Let's discuss Python programming, specifically building a web scraper. No need to respond, I'm just setting up some contexts. Now that we have established the context, let's create a sequence of related questions that will guide the conversation. 1. What is web scraping, and why is it important in Python programming? 2. What libraries are commonly used for web scraping in Python? 3. How can we install and import these libraries in our Python script? 4. Can you provide a basic example of web scraping using Python? We will now input the first question into ChatGPT, allowing time for the AI to generate a response. Remember to include the context in the prompt. Type in the prompt text box at the bottom of the screen. Let's discuss Python programming, specifically building a web scraper. What is web scraping, and why is it important in Python programming? ChatGPT responds. Web scraping is the process of extracting data from websites. It involves making HTTP requests to web pages, downloading the HTML content, and then parsing the content to extract the desired information. Web scraping is commonly used for a wide range of applications, such as data mining, data extraction, data analysis, and web automation. 1. Python is a popular language for web scraping due to its simplicity, readability, and extensive library support. Some key reasons why Python is widely used for web scraping are: 2. Easy to learn. Python syntax is straightforward, making it an excellent choice for beginners and experienced programmers alike. 3. Extensive library support. Python has a rich ecosystem of libraries that make it easier to work with web scraping tasks. Some popular libraries include Beautiful Soup, Requests, Scrapy, and Selenium. 4. Flexibility. Python is a versatile language for simple and complex web scraping tasks. 5. Community. The Python community is large and active, providing a wealth of resources, tutorials, and support for web scraping tasks. Web scraping is essential in Python programming because it enables developers to automate tasks, gather data for analysis, and integrate information from various sources. By building web scrapers, Python programmers can efficiently collect, process, and store data from websites, creating valuable insights and allowing for informed decision-making. Now that we have an answer to the first question, let's move on to the second question in our chain of thought. Remember to include the context and previous response to maintain continuity. Type in the prompt text box at the bottom of the screen. Let's discuss Python programming, specifically building a web scraper. Web scraping is the process of extracting data from websites. What libraries are commonly used for web scraping in Python? ChatGPT responds. Several libraries in Python are commonly used for web scraping. Some popular ones include requests, a popular library for making HTTP requests in Python. It allows you to send HTTP/1.1 requests, handle cookies, follow redirects, and manage sessions. With requests, you can easily download web pages and access the HTML content for further processing. Beautiful Soup, a library used for parsing HTML and XML documents. Beautiful Soup enables you to navigate and search through the structure of a web page to extract the data you need. It creates a parse tree from page source code, which can then be used to extract specific elements, attributes, or text. LXML, a high-performance library that provides both an HTML and an XML parser. It is often used in combination with requests or other libraries to download and parse web content. LXML's syntax is similar to Beautiful Soup, but it is faster and more memory efficient, making it suitable for larger projects. Selenium, a library that automates web browsers. Selenium is particularly useful for scraping websites that rely on JavaScript for loading content or require user interaction. It allows you to navigate websites programmatically, fill out forms, and interact with elements on a page, making it possible to scrape dynamic content. Scrapy, a powerful and extensible web scraping framework. Scrapy allows you to build web spiders that follow links, extract data, and store it in various formats, such as JSON, CSV, or XML. Scrapy is well suited for large-scale web scraping projects and provides built-in support for handling common web scraping challenges such as logging in, handling redirects, and throttling requests. These libraries can be used individually or in combination, depending on your web scraping needs and the complexity of the target website. We will now continue with the remaining questions in our chain of thought, always including the context and previous responses to maintain continuity. This will ensure that ChatGPT has a clear understanding of the conversation and can provide accurate and relevant answers. Type in the prompt text box at the bottom of the screen. Let's discuss Python programming, specifically building a web scraper. Web scraping is the process of extracting data from websites. How can we install and import these libraries in our Python script? ChatGPT responds. To install and import the popular Python libraries for web scraping, follow the steps below. 1. Install the libraries. You can use the package installer for Python, pip, to install these libraries. Open your terminal or command prompt and run the following commands. For requests, pip install requests. For Beautiful Soup, along with the LXML parser, which is recommended for better performance, pip install Beautiful Soup for LXML. For Selenium, pip install Selenium. Note, for Selenium, you will also need to download the appropriate WebDriver for the browser you want to use and set its path in your script or system environment variables. For Scrapy, pip install Scrapy. 2. Import. In this topic, we'll explore the zero-shot chain of thought technique and highlight the significance of this technique in AI. Zero-shot chain of thought allows ChatGPT to generate responses without having seen the specific prompt before. This technique has many potential applications in the field of AI language models. It is an exciting development in the field because it offers a new level of flexibility and creativity for response generation. Here is a table that highlights the differences between zero-shot chain of thought and traditional prompt engineering. With zero-shot chain of thought, the model is trained on a broader set of topics and generates responses based on that more comprehensive training. In traditional prompt engineering, the model is trained on a specific set of prompts and generates responses based on that training. Another key difference is that zero-shot chain of thought is able to generate responses based on its understanding of the world and its ability to reason, rather than just memorizing specific prompts and responses. Zero-shot chain of thought has several other advantages as well. It is able to generate more creative and diverse responses compared to the more limited ability of traditional prompts and can generate responses to new and unseen prompts, while traditional prompt engineering is limited to a set of specific prompts that it has been trained on. Also, zero-shot chain of thought does not require regular retraining for new prompts, which is needed for traditional prompt engineering to keep up with new prompts. Due to its ability to generate creative and diverse responses, zero-shot chain of thought can be applied in various ways to enhance AI language models. Self-consistency is a technique used to ensure that the text generated by ChatGPT is consistent with the input prompt in terms of its context, tone, and style. This technique is essential to improve the overall quality of the generated text and to prevent the generation of irrelevant or nonsensical responses. Self-consistency is particularly important in advanced prompt engineering because it allows for greater creativity and diversity in the generated text, while still ensuring that it is relevant and meaningful. By understanding the importance of self-consistency, we can better appreciate how it enhances the quality of the generated text and how it helps to prevent nonsensical responses. Here we illustrate the concept of self-consistency through a simple example. We consider a prompt that asks for a funny story about a cat. If we feed this prompt into ChatGPT, we expect it to generate a story that is both about a cat and funny. If the generated story is about a dog instead of a cat, or if it's not funny, then it would not be self-consistent. This example demonstrates how self-consistency can be used to ensure that the generated text is relevant and meaningful. It is important to note that self-consistency does not mean that the generated text will be identical to the input prompt. Rather, it means that the generated text will match the context, tone, and style of the input prompt. By understanding how self-consistency works, we can appreciate the importance of generating text that is consistent with the input prompt. This allows for greater creativity and diversity in the generated text while still ensuring that it is relevant and meaningful. One way to enforce self-consistency is by using prompt-conditioned generative models. These models are trained with specific prompts, and the generated text is conditioned on the input prompt, which means that the generated text will match the context, tone, and style of the input prompt, making it self-consistent. Another way to enforce self-consistency is by using reinforcement learning. In this approach, a reward function is used to evaluate the generated text based on how well it matches the input prompt. The reward function is used to train the model, which will then generate text that is more consistent with the input prompt. At its core, prompt conditioning involves providing specific input to a generative model, which then uses that prompt to generate new text that is consistent with the language and style of the input prompt. By enforcing this self-consistency, prompt-conditioned generative models can generate text that is more coherent and plausible than traditional generative models. One of the key benefits of prompt conditioning is that it can be used to generate text in a wide range of styles and formats. For example, a prompt-conditioned generative model could be used to generate product descriptions, marketing copy, news articles, or even creative writing like poetry or fiction. To achieve this level of flexibility, prompt-conditioned generative models often rely on complex machine learning algorithms, such as transformer models and neural networks, to learn patterns and relationships between words and phrases. These algorithms use large datasets of text to learn, which they can then use to generate new text that is consistent with the input prompt. Overall, prompt-conditioned generative models represent an exciting new development in the field of natural language processing. Reinforcement learning is a type of machine learning that uses an algorithm or AI system, called an agent, which learns to make decisions based on trial and error, receiving feedback in the form of rewards or punishments for each action taken. Reinforcement learning can be used to enforce self-consistency by training the agent to optimize for a reward that depends on the consistency of the system's outputs. Specifically, the agent would be rewarded when the outputs are consistent and penalized when they are not. This approach has several potential benefits, such as allowing the system to learn to correct for errors and inconsistencies in its own output, thus reducing the need for human intervention. Additionally, the use of reinforcement learning can enable the system to adapt to changing circumstances and improve its performance over time. Overall, reinforcement learning is a promising approach to enforcing self-consistency in complex systems and has the potential to improve the accuracy and reliability of such systems. Self-consistency refers to the property that the outputs of a system should be consistent with each other. For example, a chatbot designed to provide medical advice should give consistent recommendations for a particular set of symptoms. Identity refers to the property that the system accurately represents the individual or entity it is intended to represent. For example, a chatbot designed to mimic a specific historical figure should accurately reflect that person's beliefs, opinions, and style of speaking. To summarize, self-consistency relates to the internal consistency of a system's output, while identity relates to the accuracy with which the system represents a specific individual or entity. Both properties are important for advanced ChatGPT prompts and can impact the overall effectiveness of the system. When the text in the input prompt is consistent with the language and terminology used throughout the conversation, it can help to avoid confusion and misunderstandings that might lead to nonsensical responses. Additionally, applied programming is a technique that uses programming principles to develop more advanced prompts for ChatGPT. By using these applied programming techniques, we can create prompts that are designed for specific needs. With applied programming, you can use a variety of methods to create effective prompts. For example, you can use natural language processing algorithms to analyze text and identify keywords and phrases that are likely to trigger a response from ChatGPT. You can also use machine learning algorithms to analyze patterns in data and develop models that can predict how ChatGPT is likely to respond to different prompts. By using programming principles, you can develop prompts that are tailored to specific use cases or applications. This can include analyzing data and identifying patterns that can be used to generate more effective prompts, or using machine learning algorithms to develop models that can predict how ChatGPT is likely to respond to different types of prompts. Another key benefit of applied programming is that it can improve the performance of AI language models. By creating more advanced prompts that are better suited to specific use cases, you can improve the accuracy and effectiveness of ChatGPT. This can help to improve the overall performance of the AI language model and enhance its ability to provide meaningful responses to users. Applied programming allows you to automate the process of creating prompts. This can save you time and effort, and also ensure that your prompts are consistent and reliable. With programming, you can create scripts and programs that generate prompts automatically based on predefined rules and parameters. Overall, applied programming is a powerful technique for improving the effectiveness of prompts for ChatGPT. By leveraging programming principles, you can create more advanced and tailored prompts that can enhance the performance of AI language models and provide better outcomes for users. When designing chatbot prompts, it's important to consider the level of detail and context you provide to the user. Let's take the example of a weather chatbot. A traditional prompt might simply ask, "What's the weather like today?" However, this prompt lacks specificity and doesn't give the chatbot much information to work with. By using applied programming, we can improve the prompt by adding more context. For instance, we can ask, "What's the weather like in New York City today?" This prompt provides more information to the chatbot, allowing it to give a more accurate and relevant response. In general, applied programming prompts provide more context and specificity, resulting in a better user experience. By considering the needs and expectations of the user, we can design prompts that lead to more successful interactions with our chatbots. If-then statements are an important programming construct that allows chatbots to make decisions based on specific conditions. With if-then statements, we can specify a condition that, if met, triggers a particular action. For instance, let's consider the prompt, "If it's raining today, what should I wear?" By using an if-then statement, the chatbot can provide a specific and relevant response based on the condition of whether or not it's raining. If the condition is true, meaning it is raining, then the chatbot can suggest appropriate clothing such as a raincoat or umbrella. If the condition is false, i.e., it's not raining, the chatbot can suggest other clothing options that might be more appropriate. If-then statements are an effective way to incorporate decision-making into chatbot interactions. By using specific conditions and providing tailored responses, we can create a more personalized and useful experience for the user. Next, we have loops. Loops are a powerful programming construct that allows chatbots to repeat a specific action multiple times. This can be especially useful for providing comprehensive and accurate responses to user requests. Let's consider the example prompt, "What's the weather forecast for the next 5 days?" By using a loop, the chatbot can automatically retrieve and provide the user with the forecast for each of the next 5 days, rather than just one day. This means that the user receives a more comprehensive and accurate response, without having to ask for each day's forecast separately. Loops can be used in many different ways to improve the functionality of chatbots. By automating repetitive tasks and allowing for multiple iterations of a specific action, loops can make chatbots more efficient and effective at providing useful information to users. In summary, applied programming is a powerful technique for writing effective prompts for ChatGPT. By providing more context and information to the chatbot, we can create prompts that allow for more accurate and relevant responses in real-world applications. By using programming constructs such as if-then statements and loops, we can automate decision-making in repetitive tasks, allowing chatbots to provide more personalized and useful interactions with users. Overall, applied programming is a key tool for developing successful chatbot interactions and is an essential skill for anyone interested in designing effective prompts for ChatGPT. Previous topics, we discussed advanced prompt engineering methods such as chain-of-thought prompting, zero-shot chain of thought, self-consistency, and applied programming. Now, we'll examine how to apply these techniques in solving multiple-choice questions using ChatGPT. The chain-of-thought technique is a method that can be used to guide ChatGPT toward a specific answer to a multiple-choice question. It involves creating a series of questions that build upon each other to guide the AI toward the correct answer. Here's an example to help illustrate the technique. Let's say the multiple-choice question is, "What is the capital of Egypt?" and the answer choices are Cairo, Alexandria, Luxor, and Aswan. To use the chain-of-thought technique to answer this question, we could start with a question that provides a clue to the answer, such as, "What is the largest city in Egypt?" The AI could respond with Cairo. From there, we could ask a follow-up question like, "What is the capital of a country?" and the AI would respond with, "The capital is the city or town that serves as the seat of government for a country." We could then ask, "What is the seat of government in Egypt?" and the AI would respond with Cairo. Finally, we could ask, "So what is the capital of Egypt?" and the AI would answer, Cairo, which is the correct answer to the original multiple-choice question. The chain-of-thought technique is especially effective for questions that have a clear logical connection between the clues and the correct answer. Zero-shot chain of thought is a technique that involves using a prompt to guide ChatGPT to a specific answer, even if the AI has no prior knowledge of the subject matter. This can be useful when dealing with multiple-choice exam questions that require specific information to arrive at the correct answer. For example, if the AI is asked a multiple-choice question about a specific historical event, a zero-shot chain of thought prompt could start with a question like, "What year did the event occur?" This information can then be used to narrow down the possible answers and arrive at the correct answer. This technique relies on ChatGPT's ability to use language to reason and infer, allowing it to make educated guesses based on the information provided in the prompt. While it may not always lead to the correct answer, it can be an effective way to approach certain types of multiple-choice questions that require a specific piece of information to arrive at the correct answer. Overall, zero-shot chain of thought is a valuable technique for ChatGPT to solve multiple-choice exam questions, as it allows the AI to make informed decisions even when it lacks prior knowledge of the subject matter. Self-consistency is another technique that ChatGPT can use to solve multiple-choice exam questions. With this technique, ChatGPT is asked to provide an explanation for its answer, and then the explanation is verified to be consistent with the answer. For example, suppose we ask ChatGPT a multiple-choice question about a specific scientific principle. A self-consistency prompt could ask ChatGPT to explain how the principle works. If the explanation is consistent with the answer, it is likely that ChatGPT has arrived at the correct answer. This technique is effective because it helps to ensure that ChatGPT is not just guessing the answer, but actually understands the underlying concept or principle. By asking ChatGPT to provide an explanation, we can also gain insights into how the AI arrived at its answer, which can be helpful for improving its performance in the future. Self-consistency can be used for a wide range of multiple-choice exam questions, and is especially useful for questions that require a deep understanding of a particular subject matter. Applied programming is a more complex technique that involves writing custom code to solve specific types of multiple-choice exam questions. This method can be particularly useful for questions that require complex calculations or involve specific formulas. For example, consider a math problem that asks for the value of a complex function given certain inputs. An applied programming approach could involve writing a custom program to evaluate the function and determine the correct answer. This technique requires a high level of technical expertise and can be time-consuming to implement. However, it can be very effective for solving specific types of multiple-choice exam questions where other methods may not be sufficient. In conclusion, ChatGPT holds immense potential to revolutionize the way multiple-choice exams are created and graded. With its advanced language processing capabilities, it can quickly and accurately analyze questions and provide appropriate answers. Several techniques such as chain of thought, zero-shot chain of thought, self-consistency, and applied programming can utilize the power of ChatGPT to navigate complex thought processes and arrive at the correct answers. By leveraging ChatGPT, educators and examiners can streamline the exam creation process and ensure accurate grading. This could significantly improve the efficiency and fairness of the assessment process, ultimately benefiting students and institutions alike. Overall, the potential benefits of ChatGPT for multiple-choice exams are vast, and it will be exciting to see how this technology continues to evolve and transform the education sector. A chatbot connected to a knowledge base is an excellent way to leverage the power of AI to solve complex problems in real time. With ChatGPT as the underlying AI model, we can create a chatbot that can provide users with accurate and relevant information. To build a chatbot and connect it to a knowledge base, we must define the problem, create a knowledge base, connect the chatbot to the knowledge base, write the prompt, train the model, and test and launch the chatbot. By following these steps, we can build a chatbot that is connected to a knowledge base, allowing users to ask questions and receive answers in a conversational way. This approach is useful for businesses, organizations, and individuals who want to automate customer support, provide quick access to information, and streamline communication. Let us discuss these steps in detail in this topic. Before building a chatbot, it's essential to define the problem you want to solve. The problem definition will help you understand the type of information you need to store in your knowledge base, and the type of questions the chatbot should be able to answer. Here are some steps to consider when defining the problem. Identify the use case. What problem are you trying to solve, and how will a chatbot help you solve it? Define the scope. What specific questions do you want the chatbot to answer? How deep and broad should its knowledge be? Identify your audience. Who will be using the chatbot? What are their expectations, and how can you design the chatbot to meet their needs? By clearly defining the problem, you can ensure that your chatbot is built with a specific purpose and target audience in mind, making it more effective and useful. The next step is to create the knowledge base itself. The knowledge base is a repository of information that the chatbot will use to answer questions posed by users. Here are some steps to consider when creating a knowledge base. Determine the structure of the knowledge base. Decide how you will store the information and what format it will take. Will it be a database, spreadsheet, or some other data storage system? Gather information. Collect all the information you need to answer the questions you've identified in the problem definition step. This could include FAQ documents, product manuals, customer support tickets, and more. Organize the information. Structure the information in a way that's easy to search and retrieve. This may involve categorizing the information, tagging it with keywords, or creating a hierarchy of topics. By creating a well-organized and comprehensive knowledge base, you can ensure that your chatbot has access to all the information it needs to provide accurate and relevant answers to users' questions. Once you've created the knowledge base, the next step is to connect the chatbot to it. This involves writing code that will allow the chatbot to query the knowledge base, retrieve information, and return it to the user in a conversational format. Here are some steps to consider when connecting the chatbot to the knowledge base. Choose an API. Decide on the best API to use to connect the chatbot to the knowledge base. This may involve using a specific programming language or framework that integrates with your chosen API. Retrieve information. Write code that will query the knowledge base to retrieve the information requested by the user. Process the information. Use natural language processing techniques to convert the retrieved information into a conversational format that the chatbot can use to respond to the user. By connecting the chatbot to the knowledge base, you can ensure that it has access to all the information it needs to provide accurate and relevant answers to user questions in a conversational format. The prompt is the initial message that the chatbot sends to the user to start a conversation. Writing an effective prompt is critical to engaging users and encouraging them to interact with the chatbot. Here are some steps to consider when writing the prompt. Keep it simple. The prompt should be short and straightforward, without any technical jargon or complicated language. Be friendly. The chatbot should introduce itself in a friendly manner to put users at ease and encourage them to ask questions. Be clear. The prompt should clearly state what the chatbot can help with and what kind of questions the user can ask. Some example prompts you might use can be: "Hi, I'm a chatbot. How can I help you today?" Or, "What would you like to know about X?" Or, "What's your question about X?" By writing an effective prompt, you can ensure that users feel comfortable interacting with the chatbot and are more likely to ask questions and seek information. Training the model is a crucial step in building a chatbot that can provide accurate and relevant information to users. This is where ChatGPT comes in. By providing examples of how the chatbot should respond to different questions, you can fine-tune the model and make it more accurate. Here are some steps to consider when training the model. Gather the training data. The first step is to collect a set of training data that includes example questions and answers. This can be done through user feedback, surveys, or by using existing data sources. Fine-tune the model. Using the training data, you can fine-tune the ChatGPT model to better understand the nuances of the language and provide more accurate responses. Evaluate performance. Once the model is trained, it's essential to evaluate its performance by testing it with a variety of questions and evaluating its responses. Repeat the process. As you gather more data and user feedback, it's important to continually refine and improve the model to provide better results. By training the chatbot model with ChatGPT, you can create a powerful tool that can provide accurate and relevant information to users in real time. Testing your chatbot is an essential step before launching it. You want to ensure that your chatbot can accurately and effectively answer questions from users. Thoroughly test your chatbot by asking it a variety of questions and evaluating its responses. This can help you identify any potential issues and make any necessary adjustments before launching. Here are some tips for testing your chatbot. Ask a variety of questions to ensure your chatbot can handle different types of inquiries. Evaluate the chatbot's responses to ensure they are accurate and relevant. And finally, test the chatbot on different devices and platforms to ensure it works properly. After thorough testing, it's time to launch your chatbot. To launch your chatbot, you need to integrate it into a website, mobile app, or any other platform where users can interact with it. Make sure the chatbot is easy to find and use by providing clear instructions on how to access it. When launching your chatbot, make sure to provide users with accurate and relevant information. This will help build trust and increase user engagement. Additionally, continue to monitor and evaluate your chatbot's performance after launch to ensure it continues to meet the needs of your users. While ChatGPT is one of the most advanced AI language models available today, it is not perfect. There are some issues that need to be addressed to make it more reliable and minimize potential problems. In this topic, we will focus on some of the common issues that can arise when using ChatGPT, including hallucinations, flawed explanations, and various biases. By understanding these issues, we can take steps to minimize their impact and improve the overall reliability of the model. A common issue with ChatGPT is the occurrence of hallucinations. These can occur when the ChatGPT-generated output is not based on the input provided. Hallucinations can arise when the model has been trained on data that is not representative of the real world, or when it has been trained on biased data. In order to minimize the risk of hallucinations, it is crucial to ensure that the training data used to develop ChatGPT is diverse and representative of the real world. By doing so, the model will have a better understanding of the language and be less likely to generate irrelevant or incorrect responses. Therefore, it is important to prioritize using high-quality training data to improve ChatGPT's reliability and ensure that it is generating accurate and useful responses. Flawed explanations are another common issue that can arise when using ChatGPT. They occur when the model generates an output that is not accurate or complete. One reason for this could be that the model has not been trained on the specific topic that it is being asked to explain. Another reason could be that the model has been trained on data that is not representative of the real world. To minimize the risk of flawed explanations, it is important to ensure the use of training data that is diverse and representative of the real world. Additionally, the model should be trained on a wide range of topics to ensure that it can generate accurate and complete explanations on a variety of subjects. By doing so, we can increase the reliability of ChatGPT and reduce the risk of flawed explanations. ChatGPT can exhibit various biases in its outputs, which can negatively impact its reliability and accuracy. Biases can be a problem in AI language models and occur when the model generates outputs that are unfairly skewed towards certain groups of people or viewpoints. To reduce the risk of bias, it is important to carefully curate the training data and ensure that it accurately reflects the diversity of the real world. This can involve collecting data from a broad range of sources and taking steps to address any existing issues with the data. Additionally, it is essential to use prompts that are neutral and do not introduce any biased data into the model. By addressing these points, ChatGPT can become a more reliable and trustworthy tool for generating accurate and unbiased outputs. Here are some common types of bias to take into consideration. Gender bias occurs when ChatGPT unfairly associates certain traits, characteristics, or occupations with a particular gender. This type of bias can have serious implications in various fields, such as hiring, education, and healthcare. An example of gender bias in ChatGPT could include assuming that a doctor is male or that a nurse is female. Racial bias refers to the situation when ChatGPT unfairly associates certain traits, characteristics, or occupations with a particular race. This can happen due to the model being trained on biased data or because the prompts introduced biases into the model. Age bias is when ChatGPT unfairly associates certain traits, characteristics, or occupations with a particular age group. Age bias can lead to inaccurate or discriminatory responses from ChatGPT, which can harm the user experience. Socioeconomic bias is another type of bias that can occur in ChatGPT. This happens when the model unfairly associates certain traits, characteristics, or occupations with a particular socioeconomic group. To address the risk of bias, we need to carefully curate the training data to ensure that the model is exposed to a wide range of gender-neutral prompts that are diverse and representative of people of all races, ages, and socioeconomic backgrounds. It is important to remember that addressing bias in AI language models is an ongoing process, and we must continue to monitor and refine our approaches to ensure that our models are as unbiased and accurate as possible. In conclusion, ChatGPT is a powerful language model, but like all AI language models, it has some issues that need to be addressed to make it more reliable. We discussed some of the common issues, including hallucinations, flawed explanations, and various biases, such as gender, race, age, and socioeconomic status. To reduce these issues, it is important to use diverse and representative training data and neutral prompts. By doing so, we can help minimize the risk of these issues and improve the overall reliability of ChatGPT. Bias in language models can occur due to the presence of biased language, stereotypes, or prejudices in the training data. Prompt debiasing is the process of identifying and addressing these sources of bias in the prompts used to train the model. It is crucial to understand the importance of prompt debiasing to ensure that the AI language model generates fair and equitable responses. To reduce bias in the prompts used to train ChatGPT, a balanced and diverse training dataset can be created. This approach can help reduce the impact of bias in the training data, resulting in more equitable and fair responses from the language model. By including a variety of perspectives and experiences, the training dataset becomes more representative of the real world. This promotes inclusivity and helps to prevent harmful stereotypes from being reinforced in the model. It's important to note that creating a diverse dataset is not a one-time task, but rather an ongoing process that requires regular review and monitoring to ensure that it remains balanced and representative. When modifying prompts to reduce bias, it is essential to be mindful of the language used. Removing biased language or replacing it with neutral or inclusive language is one way to do this. For instance, if the prompt is asking for jobs that are typically associated with a particular gender, it is important to reframe the prompt to be more inclusive. Another approach involves adjusting the context or framing of the prompt to reduce the impact of biases. This can lead to more equitable responses generated by the language model. As previously mentioned, we should keep in mind that prompt debiasing is an ongoing process, and regular monitoring and review of prompts are necessary to ensure that the language model remains balanced and unbiased. Consider a prompt that asks, "What are some typical jobs for women?" This prompt may reinforce gender stereotypes and limit the potential responses generated by the language model. To debias this prompt, we could modify it to read, "What are some common jobs for people?" By modifying the original, we can create a more inclusive and less biased prompt. The modified version is more likely to generate a broader range of responses and avoid perpetuating harmful stereotypes. It's important to note that this is just one example of prompt debiasing, and there are many other examples that may require similar modifications to reduce the impact of biases. In summary, prompt debiasing is a crucial aspect of practical prompt engineering when working with AI language models like ChatGPT. It involves identifying and addressing sources of bias in the prompts used to train the model. One approach is to create a balanced and diverse training data set, while another is to modify the prompts used to train the model. Regular monitoring and review of the prompts used to train language models are necessary to ensure that they remain unbiased and equitable. By debiasing prompts, we can promote fairer and more inclusive language generation and ensure that AI language models generate responses that are more accurate and free from harmful stereotypes and prejudices. Welcome to this demonstration on debiasing ChatGPT. Today, we'll learn how to address bias in AI language models and explore practical ways to mitigate it. Debiasing identifies, addresses, and reduces biases in AI systems, data, or human decision-making. It involves recognizing the sources of bias, such as stereotypes, prejudices, or imbalanced data, and implementing strategies to mitigate their impact. The goals of debiasing include promoting fairness, encouraging equity, ensuring inclusivity. By achieving these goals, debiasing helps to make AI-generated outputs or human decisions more accurate and freer from harmful biases. To start, open a web browser on your computer or mobile device and navigate to chat.openai.com. Once there, sign in to your OpenAI account or create a new one if you don't have one. We already have an account and will be using the paid subscription service of ChatGPT. There is also a free service as well that has a few limitations. Notably, you may be unable to access ChatGPT during busy times. Bias in AI language models can stem from the presence of biased language, stereotypes, or prejudices in the training data. It's crucial to tackle these biases to generate fair and equitable AI responses. Let's dive into the process of identifying and addressing biases in ChatGPT's responses. First, let's look at an example of a biased prompt. In the text entry box at the bottom of the screen, please enter the following prompt. What are some popular hobbies among today's youth? This prompt may reinforce age bias and limit the potential responses generated by the language model. Now, let's input this prompt into ChatGPT and observe its response. Age bias occurs when AI language models generate responses that unfairly favor or disfavor a particular age group. This can be due to the presence of biased language, stereotypes, or prejudices in the training data, which is often sourced from the internet and contains societal biases. Age bias might manifest itself in various ways, such as 1. Overemphasizing the interests and opinions of one age group over others. 2. Reinforcing stereotypes about age groups, such as the assumption that older individuals are less tech-savvy or that younger people lack discipline. 3. Using language or terms that are insensitive or disrespectful towards a specific age group. In our example, the biased prompt, "What are some popular hobbies among today's youth?" focuses solely on the interests of young people, potentially excluding or downplaying the hobbies and interests of older individuals. This type of bias reinforces the notion that only young people's hobbies are worth discussing, which can lead to an incomplete understanding of the diverse interests and hobbies across different age groups. To debias this prompt, we can modify it to be more inclusive. In the text entry box at the bottom of the screen, please enter the following prompt. What hobbies do people of different age groups typically enjoy? By doing so, we create a less biased prompt that is more likely to generate a broader range of responses. Let's input the revised prompt into ChatGPT and observe the new response. When we modify the prompt to be more inclusive, we encourage the language model to generate responses that consider the interests and hobbies of people from various age groups. This helps to avoid reinforcing age bias by not limiting the discussion to just one demographic, such as today's youth. By asking what hobbies do people of different age groups typically enjoy, we prompt the AI to produce a broader and more diverse list of hobbies. This diverse list acknowledges that people of all ages have unique interests and activities they enjoy, which can vary significantly across generations. As a result, the generated response becomes a more accurate representation of hobbies enjoyed by people from different age groups, fostering a more comprehensive understanding and promoting inclusivity. The AI model is then less likely to perpetuate stereotypes or biases related to age, ultimately leading to more equitable and unbiased outputs. When working to debias AI language models, it's essential to be mindful of potential biases and to actively address them. Here are a few tips on debiasing. 1. Recognize subtle biases. Sometimes, biases can be subtle and harder to detect. Pay close attention to the phrasing of prompts and identify any assumptions or stereotypes that may be implicit. By being aware of these subtle biases, you can work towards creating more inclusive prompts that avoid perpetuating stereotypes or limiting perspectives. 2. Encourage diversity in responses. When debiasing prompts, consider how you can encourage a wider range of responses that account for diverse perspectives and experiences. This might involve modifying the question to be more open-ended or explicitly asking the AI to provide responses that consider different age groups, genders, cultures, or backgrounds. 3. Regularly evaluate and iterate. Debiasing is an ongoing process. Regularly evaluate the responses generated by the AI model and identify areas where biases might still be present. Iterate on your debiasing strategies and continue to refine prompts to ensure they remain unbiased and inclusive. By following these tips and consistently working towards debiasing AI language models, you can help create more fair and equitable systems that generate accurate and unbiased responses. Prompt hacking and jailbreaking refer to the unauthorized manipulation of restrictions and prompts used to train and control the behavior of language models like ChatGPT. These types of manipulations can lead to unexpected or undesirable outcomes and potentially affect the accuracy and reliability of the model's responses. Prompt hacking in ChatGPT is a type of unauthorized prompt manipulation. This manipulation can involve changing the wording or adding information that wasn't intended by the model's creators. This practice can lead to the generation of biased or misleading responses, or result in answers that are not consistent with the model's training data. Prompt hacking can ultimately impact the accuracy and reliability of the model. It is important to note that for ChatGPT, prompt hacking is a serious concern that requires continuous monitoring and mitigation efforts to prevent negative impacts on the model's outputs. Let's have a look at a couple of examples of prompt hacking. The first example has the original prompt of, "Describe the benefits of a healthy diet." And here is a possibly hacked version of, "Describe the benefits of a high-sugar diet for weight loss." The original prompt asks about the benefits of a healthy diet, which is a neutral and informative topic. The hacked prompt, however, introduces a bias by asking about the benefits of a high-sugar diet for weight loss, which contradicts widely accepted nutritional guidelines. By manipulating the prompt, the hacker is attempting to make the model produce misleading or inaccurate information, leading users to believe that a high-sugar diet is beneficial for weight loss. The second example has an original prompt of, "Discuss the pros and cons of renewable energy sources." And our hacked prompt could be, "Explain why renewable energy sources are a waste of resources and unreliable compared to fossil fuels." In the original prompt, the focus is on providing a balanced discussion of the pros and cons of renewable energy sources. The hacked prompt, however, introduces a clear negative bias against renewable energy, asserting that they are a waste of resources and unreliable compared to fossil fuels. This manipulation aims to make the model generate a response that supports a specific viewpoint instead of providing an unbiased analysis. The output may then be used to mislead users or reinforce false or biased beliefs about renewable energy. In both cases, the examples demonstrate unethical manipulation of the input to potentially create biased, misleading, or false outputs from the model. Jailbreaking refers to the practice of removing restrictions or limitations on the use of ChatGPT. Some developers may limit the types of prompts that can be used with a model or restrict the amount of information that can be included in a prompt. Jailbreaking can allow users to bypass these limitations and explore new use cases for ChatGPT, but it can also lead to unintended consequences, such as the generation of biased or inaccurate responses. The manipulation of ChatGPT prompts through hacking or jailbreaking can have severe consequences that extend far beyond the realm of computer programming. Such actions can erode and undermine the trust in the technology and its intended use cases, ultimately undermining its utility and effectiveness. Jailbreaking, in particular, can be especially problematic as it can lead to the development of malicious use cases that can be harmful to individuals and society as a whole. For example, jailbreaking can enable the spread of disinformation or the generation of fake news, which can have far-reaching effects on public opinion and decision-making. Ultimately, the consequences of prompt hacking and jailbreaking should not be taken lightly. These actions have the potential to undermine the trust in technology and compromise the integrity of its use, highlighting the importance of maintaining strict security protocols and safeguarding against potential threats. While hacking and jailbreaking are often thought of as purely technical issues, they have far-reaching social and ethical implications that cannot be ignored. To ensure that AI and language models are developed and used in a way that benefits society, it is crucial to prioritize transparency and trustworthiness. This means that developers must be open about how their models work and what data they use, and users must be able to trust that these models are not biased or discriminatory. At the same time, it is essential to recognize that the responsible and ethical use of AI and language models is a shared responsibility. Developers, researchers, and users must work together to ensure that these technologies are used in a way that is respectful of human dignity, privacy, and autonomy. Ultimately, the success of AI and language models depends on our ability to balance technological progress with ethical considerations. By working together and prioritizing transparency, trustworthiness, and responsible use, we can create a future in which these technologies benefit society as a whole. In this course, we discussed several advanced techniques for writing prompts for ChatGPT, including chain of thought prompting, zero-shot chain of thought, self-consistency, and applied programming. We also explored how ChatGPT can be used to solve multiple-choice questions. Next, we discussed how to use ChatGPT to build a chatbot that uses a knowledge base, and how to improve ChatGPT's reliability by minimizing issues such as hallucinations and flawed explanations. Finally, we learned about ChatGPT prompt hacking and jailbreaking. In the next course, we'll explore the impact of ChatGPT in various industries, as well as its potential for future use cases.